their education system to provide those values to equip your kids to be successful in life. And whatever that looks like to you, those schools should be providing that. So to me, that's probably the most beautiful question that can be asked about a run for school board. And in my mind, I just want our kids to be equipped to go out into the world and not struggle as so many have because they've been misguided. Oftentimes when you're running for board, people ask, what's your experience? Well, I think nobody really has to have specific qualifications to be on the board, although I've listed out some qualities that I think are important. I've personally sat on big and small boards over the course of the last 30 years and being in business, and I'm often selected to be on a board due to my strategic thinking and ability to have a firm opinion on a subject matter. And I'm not a go with the crowd type of guy because it's easy. I'm going to do my research, I'm going to have an opinion, and I'm going to vote with that research and opinion and not just be a yes person. And my expectation, if anybody's going to be on a board, that they're that way. Otherwise, again, you're not bringing value to the decision process, right? Because if everybody just said yes, what are you getting out of that? What do I see as the board's roles and responsibilities? Well, I think the board establishes the what, not the how. It's the principal, the superintendent's job to figure out the how to complete the vision, goals, and outcomes. And then we as a board hold the superintendent responsible for achieving those outcomes set by the board. And since taxpayer funds are being used, we want to represent the community and appropriately be transparent and accountable, right? So we want to make sure that the board establishes the what, but not the how. That's the principal and the superintendent's jobs, right? This is a good question too. What power do you perceive the board members to have individually? Well, none. We act as a board or we don't act at all. And that is the foundation of being a board. Easy answer. Is membership on the board compatible with your present career and responsibilities? So in this case, they're asking me specifically. So, I think if you're going to be considered for a board position, or if you're going to raise your hand for a board position, you should be able to serve on that board. Like, for example, for me, I'm fortunate enough to have 20 or more hours available a month to commit to a board position. I listened to our community superintendent for the entire county talk, and he says, hey, board members for schools can count on at least 20 hours a month, right? If you can't commit to that, if you can't even go to one board meeting, you probably should not be being on a board. You shouldn't even raise your hand for it. Fortunately, I work from home. I've got an extremely flexible schedule. And by the way, I'm motivated to do a great job because I have a couple of kids in school and a spouse working at the school as well. So if you're considering running for a board position in a company or a school district or something else, local community, whatever, please make sure that you have the time and the willingness and the correct drive to do it. And I know the other candidates that are running for school board, I want to hold them accountable to the same things. Do you have the time? I know in my case, as an example, I've been to 3 board meetings recently, and I've only seen one other candidate there out of 7. If those other 5 candidates can't even make it to a school board meeting, why are they running for school board when it's going to require 20 or more hours a month? So please, it's a big responsibility. Make sure you have the time to do it. What are some of the current challenges facing education and school boards? This is definitely probably a national thing, and that's funding and expansion have got to be a theme across the country. When you look at the real estate boom, like for example here in Flathead Valley, we see people moving in, the real estate growth is moving up. We know we're going to have growing pains, so it can be a challenge to meet everyone's needs in the community, both young and old. But you got to look forward to learning more about what the specific needs are for your school. And in my case, I am looking forward to learning more about my specific school. But the challenges that we're facing are not uncommon. And that's good news, because then we can go out and do the appropriate research. We can model what we're doing after another small town in another state and see how they succeeded or how they failed, and then we can learn from that, right? And then I just have one more question that I wanted to answer on the show, and that what role does policy have in functioning of the board? Well, it's the board's responsibility to establish district policies and administrative regulations. The board establishes these policies, in my opinion. So, these are just some quick, easy questions and some answers as they relate to me and how I would look at a board. And again, I hope that if you're running for board or you're considering it or getting involved, whether that's business, school, community, please consider these questions and these answers and maybe some of the helpful hints or tips I've given you. If you're listening to this show because you know I'm running for board, well, there's my answers. That's as honest as I can get, and I hope they've added value to your decision process in nominating me for or voting for me for the board. And, I am who I am. So anyways, going back to living your life driven, look at your core values, your goals, and align yourself with those. So again, mine are God, family, health, give back, time, and business. And this board run that I'm having right now, run for trustee of the school board, obviously falls in line with my values, and that's my family, because I want to give back to them with my time and my energies, and I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to do it for the teachers that are working at the local school. I've had the opportunity to meet so many wonderful teachers that are passionate about their jobs and are just looking for a little relief and hope and change in maybe some of the old regiments. So I'm doing my hardest out here, school teachers, to give you everything that you're looking forward to having. And I hope you enjoyed the show. It was a little bit self-serving to my regular listeners, but hey, it's my show. I can do what I want. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. I've got a great The Answer is Yes podcast coming up later this week. Please tune in. Share with your friends if you've enjoyed the show, and talk to you soon. It's up to you. The door is open wide. Feel the rhythm of today. Learn the part and join the play. The world is here. Let's take it for a ride. You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could. Larger, larger than, bigger, bigger than this.
This episode of The Answer is Yes brought to you by Baja Bound Insurance Services. Driving to Mexico? You can buy and print out your Mexican auto insurance policy online in minutes with their easy-to-use website. They also have great travel information to help you plan your trip south of the border. Visit BajaBound.com.